Hey guys, it's James Walsh here from the Wrestling Epicenter. I'd like to thank you for finding us here on YouTube. If you get the opportunity, please click that subscribe button as well as the notifications bell. This way, anytime that we upload any new content or new to you content from our archives dating back to 2002, you'll be notified. You can check out what we're up to. Please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and information needs, as well as check out our store to keep us running free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you're here. Thanks for checking out Wrestling Epicenter on YouTube. This interview is with Pitbull Gary Wolf, formerly of ECW and 3PW fame. Done back in 2007 during the summer. A gentleman from Corey, I believe he was up in the Seattle area, was his rep at the time and helped me get this interview. And it was awesome because that storyline, that arc of story that they had where Francine was the Beastmaster, managing the Pitbulls in the leather outfits, which was amazing. And she turned and joined the franchise and gave us this picture. And then Shane Douglas legitimately breaks Gary Wolf's neck. And when he comes back and confronts him and points his finger in his face, shakes him by the halo, as evidenced in the picture that we're using for the interview. Man, this guy had a hell of a run there in ECW. And it's such a shame that Pitbull 2 passed away. But what a career he had. And certainly was capable of way more because he had a great look and a great physique and a great understanding of wrestling, as evidenced by this interview. Sounds a little pissed at times, especially at the World Wrestling Entertainment, but still a fun interview. Seems to end a little abruptly, and I don't remember why. I think it's the recording more than the interview itself because we were cool for years. We talked on Facebook after that. Haven't in a while, but yeah, as far as I know, everything's cool there. So hope you guys enjoy this one. Check out the Epicenter on Facebook. Click that like button. If you click it, it turns blue. If you don't believe me, try it out. And let's get to the interview.
And welcome back to Recount Wrestling, where we're honored and privileged to have as our guest the former original ECW Tag Team and Television Champion, former member of the Pitbulls, Pitbull number 1, Gary Wolf. Gary, how are you doing today?
Really good. How are you guys doing?
Doing really good. It's great to have you on the show. Both of us were big ECW fans, so it's great to have a ECW original on. So the first question I guess we have to ask is, what the heck are you up to these days?
All you gotta do is log on to Pro Wrestling Unplugged, and you'll notice that Pro Wrestling Unplugged is pretty big now. We're actually drawing.
Oh, yeah.
This September 15th is our anniversary, third anniversary show. We got Dan to Be Severin, Diamond Dallas Page. Got a lot of guys going on there. So I've been hitting mostly independents and just working for that company.
Actually, we have questions about Pro Wrestling Unplugged coming up later, but I'll ask you them now. What do you think of that company's potential to become sort of like the new ECW, the new original ECW, with just groundbreaking material?
Well, I think we have a lot of old ECW people involved. I mean, like old knowledge-wise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm in there. There's Todd Gordon that's in there. There's Too Cold Scorpio that's in there. Johnny Cashmere that's in there. Trent Acid that's in there. There's a lot of, even Joey Matthews goes back with us a long way.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that are in that company.
So do you think that company has the renegade spirit to really revolutionize wrestling like the original ECW did?
I think so, because we're starting to do television, actually. This month we have our first television debut.
All right. Where's that going to be airing?
It's going to be on, I know it's an Access Channel 66 that can go on Comcast. I just don't know as far as how far out of the range it goes. I know we're in over 300-something thousand households. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Excellent.
this month we'll be starting with that. So I'm hoping it comes well. I hope it works out.
Well,
Yeah, it looks like it will.
Mm-hmm. Well, in Pro Wrestling Unlimited, you seem to be doing a lot of managing.
Unplugged.
Oh, Pro Wrestling Unplugged. I do apologize for that. We'll edit that out. Yeah. Any reason why you've been managing?
Yeah, I've been managing Team Pit. It's the complete Pete Hunter and Aramis. They're former guys from my wrestling school. I have a professional wrestling school called the XFC, which stands for Extreme Fight Club. So I've been running that lately and been doing some managing and stuff, on the side. I haven't been really working that much lately because I had a slip and fall where I live, and I kind of hit the back of my head. I got to get checked out. So lately I've been laying low as far as taking bumps are concerned.
All right, but you're thinking you will get back in the ring at some point?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just getting back into it when I was going against Shane Douglas for the hardcore homecomings,
Yeah.
I was in shape for the first one-night stand. I mean, I was ready to go. I could have went right there on the spot, but they only wanted to hire a couple people, so at the time.
You did do for the one-night stand paper, you did introduce the video package for the...
Yeah, it was a memorial for the guys who passed.
Yeah. Were you expecting to be on the show, or were you expecting to be booked?
I was booked. They called me and they picked me up in a limousine, man.
Oh, wow. What was it like living that WWE lifestyle for a couple days?
I thought it was fun. I mean, I had no problem with it. I could do it. It was easy. I mean, work's work. I mean, I've done it. I've been on the road for 6 nights a week back down in the South for South Atlantic Pro Wrestling. And I was working for George Scott and Paul Jones. They're the original. Wow. Yeah, they're like one of the original bookers for NWA, I was working 6 nights a week on the road, living in Charlotte. I was hanging out with Richard Steamboat and Ric Flair,
Wow. Now, I have to ask because it's one of the few DVDs I have left, but I do have the Hardcore Homecoming DVDs, especially the one, I believe, from the ECW arena. And I have to ask, when they set up that spot where you originally broke your neck in 96,
I broke my neck. Yeah.
When they set up that spot again, and the crowd reacted the way they did, was that something that affected you in some way?
Well, we had people jump the guardrail. I mean, I don't know if you've seen that. I mean, he grabbed me by the window, threw me down, and people were so pissed, that they jumped the guardrail. That's some serious.
Oh.
I mean, nobody knew who Shane Douglas was until he threw me down with that, and he broke my neck.
Yep.
Yeah, but when they set it up in 2005 with the Hardcore Homecoming, and the crowd reacted almost as strongly as the original incident. Yeah. Was there a part of you that said, yes, these people still understand, or these people still get it?
Well, I think it was one of the biggest angles that ECW ever had.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was, and it really did.
I mean, at the time, guys were getting injured, and people were afraid to talk about it. You know what I mean? I pushed the envelope because the boss came to me. The booker came to me and said, do you want to run with this, or do we just forget it? You know what I'm saying? Because it's too out there and too personal. Because a lot of wrestlers, they've been hurt, bad, and they have broken their necks. I mean, I broke it, but thank God I didn't hurt anything else. I would be paralyzed. So that's when we pushed the envelope. They asked me, "You want to push the envelope?" I said, "Yeah, let's push it." That's why Shane was cutting all them crazy promos on me.
Oh yeah. And those promos, they were pretty cutthroat. Those promos of the original franchise.
That was like it was almost a shoot. I mean, it was. He knew what he did, and I knew what he did. He hit me. He broke my neck. He knew it, and I knew it. We both knew it. You know what I mean? I mean, actually.
Now, how did you? He said that was your reaction backstage. It was pretty much accidents happened. But was there ever a time when you were pretty pissed off at him for it?
Probably when they were drilling the hell out of my skull at 6 pounds of pressure per point, and there's 4 points squeezing my skull together at 6 pounds of pressure, and I had to be wide awake for that when they put that on me. That was
That
hell.
can't be comfortable.
Nah,
That
man,
cannot
that
be
was
comfortable.
like craziness, man. It's like something you see in Saul and shit like that. You know what I mean? or how was that, Hostel or something like that. I mean, it was insane, man. I made it through that. I had to wear that for 6 weeks. So they took it off me, and I was 100. I mean, he told me 6 months I can go. I mean, I let myself take a break until 8 months. I came back then. So, I mean, I broke my neck for this wrestling business.
Oh, yeah. And now, there was a spot that was used pretty much in every ECW music video from that point onwards, and that is when you had the halo on, and Shane Douglas yanked it. Now, was that still surgically attached at that point, or was that something done just for the drama of it?
Yeah, I had to stay in my house for about a week. And I got it taken off, and then I more or less put it on just for that spot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I had it off the week before, so it wasn't. I mean, believe me, it was still pretty raw. You know what I mean? I mean, I was still coming back. I mean, I really didn't have much strength, you know. So I knew once he grabbed it, I mean, I was going to be thrown to the ground no matter what. You know what I mean? It didn't make a difference.
Well,
for the effect of it, I mean, we had to push the envelope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. When I saw that on tape the first time, it scared the living hell out of me.
Yeah, believe me, it scared me because, like I said, I was taken off. I mean, technically, I should have been wearing a Miami collar or Philadelphia collar. I don't know what they call them. But it's like a styrofoam neck collar.
Yeah.
Vince is known for wearing one when he went to court that time back in the day, in the 80s when he brought him to court for the steroid stuff. He wore one of them collars right into court with him, looking for things. Okay, so that's the collar I should have went to. But my neck my doc was surprised. My traps, thank God they were big and they were strong and they protected me.
Right.
So
now,
I had kind of some strength left in my neck.
Now, a lot of these guys these days are getting neck surgeries, like Kurt Angle had the quick fix surgery, and I think Benoit might have as well. Now, what kind of surgery did you have done, and what do you think of that? Do you think people should be getting it done the right way, or do you think what Angle did could have been the right way?
Well, I mean, look at Dean Malenko. You know, I mean, he's been cut. I mean, he can barely turn his head. I don't know. I mean, luckily I didn't have to get a fused disc on me, thank God. I just broke the disc, but my traps kept everything in place. You know, so I was lucky. But some guys that do get it done, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if surgery is the answer because I see sometimes they're worse actors, some of these guys.
Yeah.
Than they were before they got cut. So I'd definitely get second opinions, put it that way. That's my
So let me ask you this. You're at the top of the world in ECW. You're teaming up with Tommy. The Pitbulls are obviously, your feud with Shane Douglas just set the world on fire. And it seemed like it was almost overnight that the feud when it was over, it was over. And what happened with you guys? Because it almost seemed like you were just off the show somewhat recently after that.
Well, we were going to go to WCW. We were going to sign a 3-year deal with them. And we were getting everything together to do that. I mean, it wasn't that we were leaving ECW because we were done with them. It was just time for a change. I mean, we had the tag titles 3 different times. You know, we faced everybody there is to face. And at the time, they wanted to bring the Pitbulls to come in against Steiner Brothers. So I with that, you know what I mean?
And what happened with that? Why did you guys end up going to WCW?
Well, by then, Vince came in and swooped it up, you know. So by the time it was time for me to go there, I remember calling Bischoff and he was like, "Don't bother coming. We're not bringing in any more talent." So that's what I knew it was over. So I tried to go back to ECW, and then I don't know. It just seems like after 9/11, man, everything's been downhill. You know what I mean?
For wrestling or just in general?
Well, just in general. I mean, it knocked me off the map. I mean, all my bookings were made. As soon as 9/11 came, it was like airports weren't running. You know, people weren't taking flights. I mean, it was just that whole week just stunned everybody. I mean, totally screwed my thing up. with wrestling. I don't know who else it affected, but it definitely affected my business totally.
And then you did do 3PW though later on,
Yeah,
which I believe was Todd Gordon run as well, wasn't it?
What's that?
Yeah, you were the world champion for 3PW. But if I'm not mistaken, Todd Gordon was also. Yeah, Todd Gordon was also helping run 3PW, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was probably booker for that. I think
So
Jasmin was paying him to do that.
So let me ask you this: what was it like working under a porn star?
Just like anything else, I guess, man. You see a lot more things. Put it that way.
You see a lot more things. Can you share any of those things?
Well, you guys can imagine what I'm talking about. Put a video in that has her name on it. That's all I need to say.
All right. But those 3PW shows, though, I got to be honest with you, Smart Mark Video did a great job of those, and I used to pick up a lot of them. I thought those shows were...
I've seen a couple of them. I mean, me and Sabu had some crazy-ass matches, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah, you did. I mean, you guys... I think a lot of people were surprised because, of course, they saw the Pitbulls and they saw you as well, but they also saw you really get a chance to shine as a singles wrestler.
Yeah, I really never had... I mean, ECW gave me a chance, like, they didn't even know I was a tag team when they threw the TV title on me. I mean, at the time, my partner was still in Germany. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I broke the news to Paul Heyman, he didn't care. He still gave me the television belt. And I told him I didn't want it. To be honest with you. Yeah, I didn't want it. I told him I was a tag team.
How was working under Paul Heyman? Did you guys have a good relationship, or did you were the guys that didn't get along?
He was among the problems everybody has with everybody. I mean, he was a genius. He'd come up with some crazy stuff, man. I gotta give him props.
Was he partially responsible for the Shane Douglas angle?
Yeah, he came up to me and asked me. He's like, "You think we could do this?" You know, I could have said no, but I said, "Hell yeah, sounds great. Let's do it."
Do you think Todd got a bad rap from Paulie?
Yeah, Todd hired Paulie. And remember, everybody's got to remember that Todd hired Paulie. Yep. Okay, don't forget that.
So when you see all this stuff go on with the battling for the Eastern TV rights and all that stuff, what side do you fall on the fence of that?
What, the ECW that's on TV now?
Well, actually, I was talking about the old school ECW TV. At one point, Todd Gordon was fighting with the WWE for the rights to the TV episodes.
Yeah.
No opinion?
You mean the television stuff?
Yeah.
What was this after Vince bought it and everything?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's because
what do you think of
Vince wants to own everything, you know? And you know, like the Pitbulls, I own the Pitbulls. That's me. Okay. I have the trademark. I own the name. I got a pile of trademark papers in front of me. I'm looking at them right now.
Didn't Jamie Noble?
Vince always wants to own everything. And
what did you think of Jamie Noble?
Don't even mention his name, okay? Because that kid was home getting his ass wiped by his mom, wearing diapers when I was on TV. Okay?
Yep.
He's not even in my league, brother. He's from a trailer park. Kidding me? I'm living in a $500,000 place, condo, looking at a bridge right now, bro. I got $1 million view.
Oh wow!
I know Jamie Noble don't have that. Okay, he's got a trailer. You know, he's got some farm animals hanging out there around his house. He goes around the corner. There's the White Trash Cafe. He gives him his little puke pond, gets to eat. That's what it comes down to, bro.
Well, what did you think of, I think, another former ECW alumnus, Kid Cash, was his partner when they called themselves the Pitbulls?
Well, I do know for a fact Cash tried to get me in as their manager. Somebody was, who knows, man. I really don't burn any bridges anywhere, so I don't know who could be, either they're jealous of me or they must really dislike me. But somebody has it out for me over there. So
Did you ever pursue litigation over there use of
name? Yeah, matter of fact, my attorney just sent him a letter. I just got a copy of it in the mail yesterday. Yeah, they actually gave up the use of the name when they got rid of it. But when they fired Kid Cash,
Yeah.
and then they sent Jamie Noble home, they relinquished the name Pitbulls. I made them relinquish the name. They told my lawyer and me that it was a done deal. It's over and done. What do they do? He thinks he's a smart ass. He wants to ride my coattails. So he comes back and works for Vince and thinks he can call himself a pit bull. He's got a long way. He can't even lace my boots. And anybody in the business knows, from ECW knows, we weren't called the Pitbulls because of a gimmick. We were called Pitbulls because we were bad asses. Period.
Well, moving on to...
Oh, yeah. He knows it.
I think you stunned him.
You
No, he
stunned
knows it. Everybody back in the day know that he don't even deserve to call himself that. And now he's got heat with all the boys because he does. He's an idiot. He's stupid, man. I was brought up old school style. I was one of the Tennessee stud stable guys. With Matt Bourne, Nasty Boys, Robert Fuller, Steamboat was down there. I mean, I've been on the road with all these guys. That's who brought me up. You don't go and steal somebody's gimmick like that and just use it. You know, that's like me calling myself Cowboy Bob Orton or something. You know what I mean? You just don't do that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, I wrestled them guys. You just don't do that. It's against protocol, man. And all the wrestlers know that.
Do you think that that's a problem with young wrestlers today, that they just don't respect the legends or the guys who've been there before them?
Absolutely. A lot of these guys don't respect us. We paved the way for you to make money for that. You should be thanking us. They think that just because they're able to do a couple flips and bumps, you know, that makes them a superstar. It's not what it takes.
You guys, when you do your training schools, do you try to make sure that they respect the history of the business?
Respect, like 100%. If you don't respect people, then you ain't in my school. That's what there is to it, man. I mean, remember, I was schooled by Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Abdul the Butcher, Sheik, you know, all old school guys. I mean, I was on the road with all these guys, man. You just don't do that, man. And like I said, he's not going to have any respect from anybody.
Well, you're about to mention your thoughts on the WWE ECW. What do you think of the WWE's attempt at trying to, make lightning strike twice?
Well, honestly, I wasn't watching it for a while. I'll be completely honest with you. Now, I tuned into it this Tuesday, and I haven't seen it in a while, and I saw Balls Mahoney go over. Now, that's after I made a comment that he should be going over. So I don't know if somebody's listening, because I've had like 6 interviews in the past 2 weeks. So I don't know if somebody's been listening to my interviews or not. But what I'm saying is, you got the whole crowd saying balls, balls, balls. You push that character, man. That's how I. You know what I mean? You push it. Exactly. Give him a push. Make some money. You should be smart. I mean, like I said, I heard that Jamie is like part of the undercard, the bookers for like the junior heavyweights or something. I mean, you gotta be kidding me. That's a joke, man. I mean, somebody told me that, and I can't believe it. I mean, if it's true, somebody's really screwed up. Because they should be kicking him in the ass and giving me a job. I'll show them how to play. Shit. They got like 21 and 22-year-old kids over there booking. They don't even know the business. I mean, I just watched WrestleMania 88 just to study it because I know I just do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You see some of the stuff that people don't even do that stuff anymore. That was on there. I was surprised. I mean, yeah, remember I was in New Japan with the Killer Bees, the Samoa SWAT team, the British Bulldogs. Shit, we've been around a while, me and my partner.
Oh yeah, exactly. You guys really were one of the best tag teams we saw in the 90s and I guess the late 80s as well.
Out of the top 5 tag teams ever, supposedly we're getting inducted into the Hardcore Hall of Fame. So,
oh, right.
And that's the presence of Terry Funk, Public Enemy, Sandman. I mean, come on.
Excellent. Well, what do you think of current tag team wrestling?
I think they got to kick it in gear and get it going. Because remember, it used to be a semi-main event. I mean, the British Bulldogs ran it, Demolition. Come on, look at all the money they made. That gimmick was so over. The Killer Bees, the Rougeau brothers. I mean, the Hart Foundation. I mean, you're talking the Bushwhackers. I mean, come on. You're telling me that era is gone now? Doesn't make any sense.
We've seen a lot of tag teams from that era, like the Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, try to rekindle themselves by taking a new member when Hawk was found and all that. Would we ever see another Pitbulls, or do you think that's just disrespectful?
I don't think it'd be disrespectful. There will never be a number 2. There could be a number 3. So then you got 1 and 3 at 13. So that might be a good number for us. Never know.
Any idea who you might want to have fill that role?
I have no idea. I've had people come to me, but I haven't made a decision yet. It's tough. It's hard to do, man. You know, especially when you're used to working 20 years with another person. You know. It's tough to do.
Now, back in '98, you guys had a tryout match with the Headbangers, and it's stunning to me to think that you guys didn't get picked out by the WWE. Why do you think that was? Do you think they just had it in for you?
Nah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not a whore for the business. I just won't work for anything. I mean, come on, man. I've been around long enough where I know where I should be getting paid. I'm an entertainer for television. I'm a pro wrestler. I know what I deserve to be paid. I mean, I'm not going to have somebody Jew me down or cheat me down to like pennies on a dime. You know what I mean? That's bull. You know, I mean, I'm not going to do that. So maybe that's why. I mean, a lot of guys, you know, they'll work for practically nothing to get on television now. Nowadays, it's crazy. And, you know, Vince don't care. You don't care. He'll do it. He'll put him on TV and try to turn him into a star. Who knows?
How hard has it been for wrestlers? How hard has it been for wrestlers like yourself since ECW and WCW went under to now basically have no bargaining chips?
I don't know, man. We're like in a rough spot. It's messed up. I mean, why do you think all these guys are? I mean, even guys that are working. I mean, what's going on? What's going on with the business, period?
Exactly. What do you think of TNA?
I don't like TNA.
You don't like TNA at all?
Nah, I did a couple things for them, and I don't know. I just was turned off by the whole thing when I was there. I don't know. I was supposed to, the first day I was there, I was supposed to work against AJ Styles. He backed out of the match. They put me with Brian Lee. I did the one show, and that was about it. Like I said, they gave me a little coupon to go to the White Trash Cafe, and that actually turned my stomach. When I seen that, I actually had to call my wife and be like, "What the hell is that?" And when I called it, I go, "What the hell is this?" I couldn't believe it. I called my girl and tell her, "I'm eating at the White Trash Cafe right there." I mean, that was like it, man. I couldn't.
Oh, jeez.
It was bad.
Well, let me ask you the hard question.
At least Vince pays. At least Vince feeds you. He gives you lunch and dinner. You know.
Exactly. Do you think they'll ever have a chance of growing, or do you think they're pretty much where they're going to be?
Once the money runs out, they'll be under. I don't like the octagon, all the ring ropes and stuff, how it's set up. I mean, Vince, I don't know if they're trying to take Vince's talent, or people or fans, but I can't see them. You know what I mean? I'm old school, you know, so.
Exactly.
I mean, I do know one thing. I mean, the Pitbull gimmick is marketable. I mean, any city you walk into or drive into, and you guys could probably be. Actually, I know for a fact, wherever you live, the city you go into, you can't tell me you don't see like people walking around with Pitbulls.
No, of course you do.
I mean, they're everywhere. And anytime you turn the news on, you hear something about Pitbulls. By the way, quote my suggestion here. Michael Vick should go to jail and eat dog food for the rest of his life. Like I have on my blog. It looks like he's going away for about 5 years. What's wrong with these people? You're making $1 million playing football, and you got to fight dogs. Are you that bored or that stupid? I don't know. You explain it to me, man. Because I'm an athlete, and I don't understand
I don't understand it. I'm glad he's finally admitted that he's guilty, though, because it was obvious to anybody with a brain that he was anyway.
You can check my blog on my MySpace, guys. I called it, what was it, 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, that he was guilty. I knew it. Especially when they were all turning against him.
Oh, yeah.
You can't tell me you live somewhere and you don't know what's going on in the backyard. That's bullshit.
Exactly. Well, let me ask you a tough question. Unfortunately, we got to go here. When Pitbull 2 passed away, it's kind of the elephant in the room now. I've heard his name mentioned on Fox News and things, just in reading down the list of things. What do you think of Pitbull 2 being used basically as a pawn in this whole crusade against wrestling that the media has currently?
I never heard his name mentioned.
It was, I think it was Greta Van Susteren. She read down just like a list of 100 people that passed on. She's the girl who talks out of the side of her mouth on Fox News.
Well, I mean, he's on the list. I mean, there's a lot of guys. What am I going to do? I mean, the facts are there, bro. There's a lot of guys that are dead. And there's, one just passed a couple of days ago. Crush just passed, right?
Yep.
Okay, so there's no denying it. There's a problem here. I'll tell you what the problem is. You need to have a union in pro wrestling. So that when guys are retired and they're done working their asses off every week, like if some money gets out of their paycheck and they put it aside for them, so when they retire, they got something to fall back on. So they can't just depend on their body, to make them through. You know what I'm saying? They're injured. They can't work anymore. So, but during the time that they abuse and beat the living shit out of each other for the fans, shouldn't you think we should have something to take care of us?
Exactly.
After we were done entertaining.
I certainly do. And I believe it was Roddy Piper a few years ago.
I mean, look, Major League Baseball union, NFL union, Major League Baseball union, Soccer League got a union, the Olympics got a union. Everybody has a union. Boxing has a union. MMA, I think, has a union. I mean, it's ridiculous. SAG, stuntmen have a union. So why don't we have it?
What's standing in the way from wrestling having a union?
I don't know. I don't understand. I remember in 1988 the guys were talking about it. Now it's 07 and it hasn't been done yet. Something's wrong.
I think Piper was
trying to do something. Gonna use. I mean, this is a good scenario for Vince McMahon. To be honest with you guys, the way I look at it, Vince McMahon could put a salary cap on us. This way we can only make a certain amount of money. Because some guys get so over, I don't know if you realize this by watching TV, but they're so over, he could turn to Vince and say, look, I want this much, either you give it to me, or I don't show up the next night. Okay? That's what happens. Now, if we were more organized and we had a union, you would never have that problem. I mean, so that's a good thing for him. You should look into it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Now, going back to the actually, the follow-up question I had for that was, what's your honest opinion of the way the media has covered the Benoit thing?
Wrong and lazy, trying to blame it on steroids. You don't have a roid rage for 3 days, dude. Roid rage lasts about 30 seconds and it's over. So,
have you ever experienced roid rage yourself? Or?
Come on, I was taking steroids when it was legal. Remember, back in they didn't make it illegal until the late 90s, right? Or mid-90s?
Yeah, something like that.
It was legal before that, bro. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody's taking stuff. Everybody, Major League Baseball, look at all the games they play. You think they could do it without getting some little test in their body or something to help them heal up? It's impossible, bro. It's practically impossible to do that.
Right.
I mean,
so you think all these
anybody that knows anything about sports, you need to heal and recover, and that takes a lot on your body.
So what do you think of this?
They're trying to use it as an escape. They're trying to use steroids as an scapegoat because they don't know what the hell happened. Okay, so right away, steroids is brought up. Come on, get the hell out of here. Back in the day, in the 80s, everybody was on the shit, man. I was in the locker room in the 80s. In the late 80s, I was in the locker room, man, for WWE. And steroids were so legal that it was out in the open and nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared. It was crazy, man. I know for a fact.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to
So
ever
what do you
argue with me about this, I could definitely argue with them. I've seen it all, bro.
So what is your honest opinion on steroids? Because I know the Warrior did an interview recently, and Warrior was saying steroids are not necessarily a bad thing as long as you're not mixing them with every other street drug.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to remember, men are like women. When women have a hormone problem, what do? They take a hormone to make up for what the hormone they're losing, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what do you think? It doesn't happen to men? Same thing happens to men. So they got to take a little bit of test here and there, or as long as they do what the doctor says, it should be okay. That's how I feel. I mean, if it makes you feel better and it's not hurting anybody, then I would say do whatever you got to do. That's how I look at it.
It's a good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, moving on to happier topics. A lot of original ECW fans are still obsessed about the glory days of the product. Do you think that the wrestling business needs an ECW to push the envelope again?
Yeah. This way it's a different company. Remember like WCW and WWE, it was like Monday Night Wars, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It gave the people a choice. And that's what they're not doing right now. You know, everybody knows that Vince does Raw, SmackDown, and ECW. It's not a secret. You know?
He's been on all three shows for crying out loud.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I know Vince loves TV, so, I mean, he's a character himself on the TV, so he's just getting paid, man. That's all he's doing.
Exactly. And do you see in our lifetimes, do you see another Turner coming along and putting something out there that could be the next competition for WWE?
Well, I don't know if anybody will ever be able to compete with Vince, but there's alternatives. I mean, people will be able to choose, like, what they want to watch. That's how I look at it. I mean, honestly, I hope I get another run with Vince. I'd be happy to go in here and do a Pitbull run. You know?
Would you team up with Jamie Noble?
After I kick his ass, possibly. He's got an ass whooping coming to him anyway, so I mean, that could be arranged.
All right. Well,
guys,
you guys you're with Pro Wrestling Unplugged. We mentioned it earlier, and this is another Todd Gordon thing. And Todd really, I know he's putting his heart and soul into it, and they got the EP coming in for that show. You already mentioned that. So, what is your hope and future for Gary Wolf?
Get about 2 more runs in before I retire, and get on the Hardcore Hall of Fame. Get inducted into that. And I think that'd do me good.
Now,
like I said, see, I'm more an international star than in this country. I mean, you got to remember, me and my partner were Australian tag team champions, New Zealand tag team champions, Japanese tag team champions. We were in the ring with Hasei Sasaki for the Japan title. Yeah. So, I mean, not too many people could say they were in the same ring with Hasei Sasaki, bro. Okay, and that's a shoot.
Oh yeah.
Believe me, a lot of wannabes are out there. Like I said, you know what I mean? Stop trying to ride my coattail. So let me put the jacket on and I'll ride it right into the station with $100 bills pouring out of my pocket. Oh! That was good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That should be a promo right there.
Some shit just rolls off my tongue, baby. That's why I'm one-liner, man. I take one take and I'm done. The only one that ever tied me up was that ECW one. That's because they were talking about my fallen brothers. That's the only reason.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I got to ask you this then, once we close out, but we got tag teams out there. We mentioned this already, but we got the Dudley Boys talking about having the greatest tag team champions ever. We got guys who just, unfortunately, just lost Cronus from the Eliminators. So basically, you mentioned you're one of the top 5 tag teams ever. I'd be inclined to agree. Who would you actually be humble enough to say is above you?
Funk Brothers. British Bulldog. Road Warriors. They're close enough. Steiner Brothers were good. I mean, we're in that whole area, I think. I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, you gotta remember, the Dudleys, what they use to get over in Vince for a finish.
That's, what is it, 3D, whatever they call it.
Well, no.
Super Bomb. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, through the table, yeah.
We were the first guys to ever put a girl through a table. From
Oh, yeah, the Francine.
Yeah, we put Francine, remember? So what did they
yeah.
use when they went to Vince to get over?
They were putting Terry through tables.
Yeah, that's the Pitbull's gimmick, man. Come on, man.
My name is James Walsh, and I'd like to thank you for checking out the Wrestling Epicenter here on YouTube. If you have not done so already, please do. Click that subscription button and the notifications bell. This way you'll be notified anytime I upload any new or new to you classic content from our archives that date back to 2002. If you get the opportunity, please also check out www.wrestlingepicenter.com for all your wrestling news and info needs, as well as our store to keep us going free and clear. Without any further delay, let's get to why you came here, the content here on YouTube.